Hi, this is Alan from Alpus Group with video 9 of a series of free training, 20 key factors for project success. Key factor 8, enabling or advanced works. So Alpus recommends the following key factors are addressed to ensure project success. We've identified all of the first 7 key factors in previous videos, and then we've identified enabling or advanced works in this particular video. It's not something that's essential to be carried out as enabling or advanced works, but in some cases, if you've got a lot of preliminary items such as utility diversions or demolition and clearance, you can carry them out as advanced works. So just to remind ourselves, key factor 1 is a clear and concise project brief that defines the scope of the works, the fundamental design parameters, the employer's or owner's requirements such as budget, cost, program time, schedule, and specific operational performance requirements and quality requirements. Project or program brief should reflect the vision of the sponsor of the project or program. So the sponsor will normally consider all of the available development options. They may be limited by the planning permission on the site unless permission is sought for new use for the site. But what you need to do is to ensure that you check with the local town planning policy whether the town planning policy is likely to support the use that you're envisaging to carry out. The site may have an existing usage class that allows you to develop without the need for seeking a new planning permission. If not, you'll need to seek outline and detailed planning permission unless you have permitted development rights under the Town and Country Planning Order 2015. In any case, you'll need to have building control permission for carrying out the works in accordance with the building regulations for all options. The risks of the alternative options need to be evaluated, especially the risk that planning permission may not be granted for your chosen development. So you need to decide on a strategy how to proceed. You may decide that you want to seek planning permission for residential usage, assuming you don't have permitted development rights to carry that out. Then you need to evaluate then whether there's a risk that you may not receive the planning permission you're looking at. Evaluate all the risks to do with the project and quantify and assess the likely contingency amount for time and budget purposes. So in our example here, we need to ensure there's adequate funding, so we've allowed a detailed breakdown of the costs, acquisition costs, design and consultants costs, construction costs, and then we've evaluated the contingency at £150,000 within this overall funding provision that's needed, 1.135 million. Key factor 4, the site must be available and accessible, so you need to have legal ownership of the site before you grant the contractor permission and possession of the site. You need to therefore acquire the site or have the owner's permission if you're doing a joint venture with the owner. You need the legal access. If you fail to provide the legal access, then you may well get claims from the contractor for delays to his work. Statutory permissions, planning permission. If you don't have it, you may take out an option to purchase the site subject to receipt of planning permission, which means that you've got the right to acquire the site but not the obligation to do so. If you submit a planning application, the planning authority is obliged to respond within 56 days, and of course that decision may but not be exactly what you're looking for, so you may need a resubmission. Permitted development rights totally change the risk picture and make it a much more attractive proposition, and you can carry out the conversion from commercial or industrial use to residential, subject to the planning rights still being in place for permitted development. So you need to check these because they're changing all the time. Some of them are phasing out and some of them are starting in August 2021. We discussed the need to have agreements with neighbours. There may be party wall conditions which need to be satisfied, way leaves, rights of way, and you need to address the issue of all of the services crossing the site and any neighbours that you may have, such as mainline rail or tube lines, where you need to address boundary conditions with them which may restrict your ability to carry work out in the way that you would like. The proximity to the railway lines imposes safety considerations. So you need to protect or divert utilities on the site, so you need a full survey of all the existing utilities and services on the site, some of which you can get from the statutory utility companies, but additional surveys will probably be needed. In some cases where the existing building on site is to be demolished, the services can be cut off and discontinued. In other cases, protection measures may be needed. And you may decide to carry out some of the preliminary or advanced works as a separate package because you have the information to do that, and you can carry this out quickly while you're finishing off the design and tendering for the main works. So if you want to discuss any of these sort of aspects with us, these are our details: www.alpusgroup.com. We're based in Hindhead, Surrey, and in Slovenia. My contact details are there: alan@alpusgroup.com, telephone +44 7539 141 257. I'm on Skype, WhatsApp and FaceTime. If you want to book an exploratory call with me, you can do so at the Calendly link, calendly.com/AlanJE. If you want a free contracts checklist from us, you can go to the tiny URL link, the first one. And if you're interested in property development training, then you can go to the second tiny URL link. So that's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.